Hey guys, this is Rob Gray. We're going to take a quick preview of the Ironman Boulder swim course. So basically you'll come down from T1. You're going to go down this boat ramp here, and it's usually like a rolling start, so you kind of head down here, and then it's just a long out and back all the way out to the other side of the reservoir, down the other side and back again, and then you exit and get your bike here again. So a few things to bear in mind is the sun will kind of be rising over there, so it's not going to be in your eyes that much, but you may want to have some goggles with a slight tint, and if you breathe to your right, you might want to practice breathing to your left a little bit as well for the way out, and then vice versa on the way back. The good thing is the sun's going to be kind of in front of you and to the right, so there's at no point time where it's going to be blinding you, but it could impact your sighting. It might be difficult to see the turnaround and the markers on the way out, so that's just something to bear in mind. A few swim tips. Equipment choice is pretty important. The one thing about Boulder is that it's a wetsuit swim, but it's pretty warm at the moment, and there's the possibility that it could be non-wetsuit. So just be prepared for that, and either get a swim skin or be prepared to swim without a wetsuit in your tri-suit or whatever. But try and avoid arriving on race week and not having the right equipment. There are some good tri-shops in town. For example, Colorado Multisport, they'll have equipment that you could purchase, but there's going to be thousands of other athletes that may need to do the same. So just bear that in mind when you're doing that. And then it's always a good idea to have some like a good anti-fog. What I like to use is a product called Sven Can See. What's great about it is it's a 4-season product, so you can use it for swimming with swim goggles. I also use it for my visor on my helmet to prevent it getting fogged up. I use it on sunglasses. It's great for skiing and ski goggles. So check that out, Sven Can See. Highly recommended. That's a pretty critical thing for the Ironman swim. You don't want to be in this reservoir and not being able to see because your goggles are fogged up. So check that out and give it a shot. Other tips. This is at altitude. We're just over 5,000 feet here. So one thing I would recommend if you're coming from sea level is try not to start too fast. The last thing you want is to be in oxygen debt by going out too hard and you kind of struggling to get air. But it's not something I would really worry about. It's not going to be too difficult to breathe up here. If you just start in, settle to a nice easy pace, you'll be just fine. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Something to bear in mind here is that the visibility is pretty bad in the water, so sighting out of the water is critical. It's pretty difficult to see what's going on around you. In my experience, in every race I've done here, and every time I've done an open water swim here, people generally zigzag all over the place. So if you're going to get on a set of feet and draft, that's great. It's going to save you a bunch of energy and effort. But just bear in mind that here, the likelihood is that the person you're going to be drafting behind is probably going to not be swimming straight. It's just different to most other races I've done. Generally find a good set of feet. Most people can sight pretty well and swim straight. That's not the case here. Everyone seems to swim skew, so just watch out who you draft behind and just double check your sighting every now and again. But yeah, it's a good swim. It's a little slower than usual. When you come out, you're going to go out, get your bike here, and then out onto T1. Okay, so we're on the other side of the lake now, and basically would have swum from there all the way down. We swim all the way across here, and this is more or less where the turnaround is for the way back. And you're going to head over to, there's a little beach just around the corner from where the start is. So you basically go almost to where we started, but just to the right. But since the markers aren't up yet, what I'd recommend is once you get here, on race day, you want to turn around, take a bearing based on what you see with the flat irons there. So you can see there's basically a bunch of different humps and slopes. Take a look at your line you want to swim against. Choose a point to reference, and then use that for sighting all the way back. So basically, it's like a big. Start just on the left of that, where you can see those boats over there, all the way down there, all the way up here, and then more or less all the way back. You're going to want to sight on, something to the left of these flat irons here. But again, the markers aren't up, so just check on race day. This is kind of the view you're going to have on the way back. And yeah, once you get here, you haven't got a long time to go. You're probably about 3/4 of the way through. So yeah, it's time just to enjoy it, settle in, start thinking about what you're going to do in transition, and then look forward to that nice long bike ride.